Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of No Nonsense Whisky Reviews. Today we're heading back to Speyside, and because it's episode 5, nice milestone, we're going to try something a little bit different and do a comparison of two whiskies of the same distillery. Now the reason why I've chosen these two is because the Glenlivet 12 year has been a staple of supermarket shelves for a great many years, and of late it seems to have been almost exclusively replaced, especially in my area, with the Glenlivet Founders Reserve. Now I've almost finished my bottle of 12 year, and this is a sealed bottle. I have tried this before briefly, but I can't remember quite what it tasted like, so I'm going to give it a kind of a fresh tasting and we'll see how the two compare. So let's just get straight into it and have a look at the 12 year first. So this one will be quite familiar to a lot of you, I should imagine. If you haven't tried it, you would have seen it on the shelves. If you're lucky enough to still be able to buy this, then that's great. I find it out of stock everywhere in the Midlands, and it's a shame because I actually quite like this one. I seem to always have a bottle of it. Someone always gives me a bottle for Christmas. That's obviously going to stop now, unfortunately. So let's just go straight in and see what this one smells and tastes like. Okay, well you don't get any kind of smoke from this at all. This isn't a smoky whiskey. It's much more on the kind of sweet and fruity scale. You're getting the kind of caramels that I've spoken about before. It's difficult to break it down any further. Alright, let's give it a quick taste. Now you're getting obviously the caramels and the toffees that I kind of spoke about before. It's extremely light, very easy to drink, not challenging at all, zero smokiness. That's not what this one's all about. Yeah, I think the kind of fruitiness of it makes it quite nice. It's not overly complex, but sometimes that's a good thing. If you drink it for longer, then you start getting some vanilla. So I'm pushing into it a little bit there, going into the realms of actual nonsense, but there are some background vanilla if you really do break down through the initial tastes. Right, let's have a look at the Founders Reserve. Get a fresh glass for this one. This one's called Founders Reserve because it's named after George Smith, who was the founder of the distillery a great many moons ago. Fancy packaging. Oh, I bet the microphone loves that. As you can see, still a brand new sealed bottle. Now the 12 year, I say, is pretty hard to get hold of now, but it used to be between sort of 25 and 30 pounds. This one is basically the same. You see it for about 30 pounds. I picked this one up for less than 20 pounds because of a friend who works at a supermarket. Now, to my eyes, that seems a lot lighter in colour. Now, when you smell it, it doesn't seem sweet and as fruity as the previous one. Kind of maybe some base fruits, but definitely less sweet. You're still getting that kind of toffee, caramel smells that we're getting from the 12 year. Let's go in for a taste. to me, it kind of, that tastes a lot weaker. Not so negatively as in it's terrible, but in comparison between the two, it's definitely a weaker whiskey. I should say as well, there's definitely zero smoke in this one also. If I remember correctly, the Founders Reserve is almost exclusively American oak first fill for whiskey, and I believe the 12 year is a mixture of American oak and European oak. Now, to my palate, I don't think that makes any difference. There's definitely not the sherry in there that I'm used to tasting with my sherry casks. You can definitely taste the difference there. Okay, well there's the comparison between the two. So you have the old 12 year and the new Founders Reserve. Although they haven't kind of expressly stated it, it seems to be replacing the 12 year. In my opinion, for the worse. I think these two would have been perfectly fine running in tandem. It's entirely possible that I don't think the Founders Reserve would sell quite as well if it was next to the 12 year, for sure. In my opinion, it's an ever so slightly weaker whiskey than the 12 year. I do prefer the 12 year, but that said, the Founders Reserve is not a terrible whiskey. It's definitely worth placing on your shelf. I'm not entirely sure that the 32 to 35 pound mark is warranted. If you can find it for less, it's definitely worth having a go. If you can find it as cheap as I might find it, for less than 20 quid, then you should definitely buy it without a doubt. It's definitely worth a try, even if you're not sure if you'll like it or not. There's definitely nothing offensive about it. But it seems a shame that the 12 year seems to be dying a death. Hope that it shows up near you and you can still get hold of it. For me, it seems to be a bit of a special edition now, which sadly I've almost finished. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 5 of No Nonsense Whiskey Reviews. As always, if you could like and comment below and subscribe if you want to see more whiskey videos. There's a link just going to pop up above my head for the playlist for the No Nonsense Whiskey Reviews I've done so far, right from the beginning. And of course the little square on the bottom, No Nonsense Whiskey Reviews, that's what you click to subscribe if you're on mobile devices or on YouTube itself. So thanks for watching everybody. See you again for episode 6. Next time we'll be looking at something wildly different to what we've looked at so far. See you again soon.